and it is Friday, September 21st, 2018, here with your free live show. Of course, we're live every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, usually right around the same time, around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes around 10:45, sometimes 11:15, but usually right around this time, somewhere in that neighborhood. Of course, we're live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and today, every Friday, we started this a few weeks ago. I really enjoy it. We call it Free for All Friday, where basically all of the questions come from our Facebook group. So all the games that we normally do, we do 3 free picks on every single show, and in this one, the way that it works on Fridays is on Fridays is all the questions come from the people in the Facebook group. So if you're watching us in the Facebook group and you want a pick on a game, then by all means, start typing them in there, and I just pick the most popular ones. We don't go with any specific person, anything like that. Whatever the most popular pick is. It could be something that's going to be a premium pick. It could be something that's not going to be a premium pick. It can be whatever. I won't tell you if it's a premium pick or not, unless if it's definitely not a premium pick. I'll say this is definitely not a premium pick, but I will go with the most popular ones. So just start popping in the questions there in the Facebook group, and as soon as we get a bunch, like I said, the questions all come from the Facebook group. So be sure to put them in over there. Just trying to get the YouTube channel together, something that is part of this process, and those of you that watch the show regularly, you know that I'm doing that, and when you see me pop my head around like that, it's because all the cameras are in front of my screens, and I have different cameras set up because YouTube and Facebook don't play well together. One is owned, YouTube is owned by Google, and they don't want to play well with Facebook, and Facebook doesn't want to play well with YouTube. I don't care. But yeah, I'll post a link in just a second for the Facebook group. Oh boy. Let's see. But anyways, hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that offer by DraftKings. I think that's awesome. Game over. I don't know what that means. But over on DraftKings, they're offering, if you sign up through our link, you get free 5-day Premium Plus membership with a $5 deposit. So can't beat that with a stick. Game over. I do not know what that means. But I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to say, I don't want to listen to you. But let me get that link for the Facebook group to post over on YouTube. And that is here. There you go. But anyways, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Could be any sport on Freestyle Friday. You could have baseball, college football, NFL football, whatever the case may be. Doesn't need to be today's games. Could be any game over the course of the weekend. So, so far I just see one that seems to be super popular in here. Everything else trending. Everything else kind of trending about the same. Yeah, all of our questions come from the Facebook group. So if you have a question, you should pop on over to Facebook and enter our group and go ahead and ask your questions. Like I said, it's Freestyle Friday. So all the questions come from the Facebook group. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. You guys know college football. It's my favorite day of the week during my favorite time of the year on College Football Saturday. It's kind of what got me known on the internet. I'm going to post the DraftKings link in here. And this way the people on YouTube can take advantage of that free 5-day Premium Plus offer. $5 deposit at DraftKings. I mean, terms and conditions apply. But that is what it is. Anyways, we do 3 free picks every single day. Of course, it's Freestyle Friday, so all the questions come from the audience. And the audience, when I mean the audience, I mean our Facebook group. Eugene Perriman says, go against whatever Brett says. I don't necessarily think that's true. I think Brett has some pretty good insight, actually. When it comes to the Facebook group, I like being part of the community as everybody else. It could be Friday games, Saturday games, doesn't really matter for Freestyle Friday. It's games for the entire weekend, but no, I think Brett has some pretty good insight. I think sometimes he goes too far over on his insight, where it's like he ignores the game, where it's just all of this, the public. But what he doesn't look at sometimes is that the sharp money is also on that same side. It's like, I believe me, I love going against the public too. You guys know I'm Mr. Dog of the day, right? I love my dog. So, here's my picks for tomorrow. You can see I have a whole sheet of them. There's 2 favorites on the entire sheet. So I have 16 games that I'm still looking at for tomorrow. I have 12 dogs, 2 favorites, and 2 totals. So I'm trying to narrow it down still. And it's like, I definitely want to give out a couple favorites because I know people love playing favorites. But it's like, I don't even see any that I really, am enamored with for tomorrow. That's for sure. And but tonight, let's look at these. Let's look at what you guys say here. So, nothing for the weekend, huh? It's like, so, all right, USC Washington State. USC has been a sieve on defense. The best Trojan teams have been the teams where they're really good in the trenches. If you look across the NFL, some of the best linemen in the history of the NFL all went to USC. But the last 2 years, USC's lines have been doo-doo. And the Trojans' performance, not so good. I mean, Sam Darnold, we saw him last night. He's going to have, some growing pains. He probably has some really good upside. But last year, he had no line. 2 years ago, when he had a great line at USC, man, they really put up some numbers. And they beat Penn State in the Rose Bowl and all kinds of good stuff like that. But what we see from this USC team is no line, so they can't get their skill position players, which are really fast, into space. And that's why they're having trouble moving the ball, even against teams like Texas, who have pretty good team speed. Meanwhile, the defense is a sieve. I mean, it is a sieve. And against Mike Leach's teams, traditionally, when he was at Texas Tech and here at Washington State, what we see from Mike Leach is very, very large people in the trenches. Not necessarily the best at it. They're not it's not like Anthony Munoz like, USC had, but it's like, it's big people on the line. And I think USC is going to struggle with that big line. I like Washington State here, and that'll be my first pick. Like I said, this is Freestyle Friday, so it's actually what you guys requested to hear. So, anyways, we do 3 free picks every single day here on our live show, which happens right around this same time. So now we're starting to see some other picks in here. So it's just, if we can get a consensus, we just need a couple more people to throw some games in here. It's kind of a free for all Friday, and what I'll do is I'll just pick from if there's only of all these singles, I'm just going to pick from one of these. But anyways, we have our DraftKings giveaway. If you deposit $5, you open an account at DraftKings, you deposit $5, you get a free Premium Plus membership. Anyways, got 3 free picks. Let's see what we got. It is Free for All Friday. Trying to sort through one at a time here. So here's another one. Notre Dame and Wake Forest. This one, Notre Dame going on the road. And we know that the Irish traditionally not as good on the road. One thing we also know about Notre Dame lines, traditionally pretty dialed in, you know, when it comes to the point spread. They have the most public action is always on Notre Dame games, so the books seem to really have those lines. I mean, half points. When we get to late in the season, I mean, it's probably 8 points total that come to separate, you know, 5 or 6 games. So it's like the lines are really, really dialed in. Anyways, Wake Forest really, really underrated with Clawson. He's done a tremendous job there as head coach. Definitely made them a respectable program. I think when we look at this Notre Dame Wake Forest, it's like Wimbush. He started off, you know, the first 5 minutes of the season against Michigan. He was absolutely outstanding. Since then, he's returned to the same Wimbush that we saw last year. As far as the total in this one is set at 60, I like the under in Wake Forest Notre Dame, and that'll be my second pick for today's show. I just think inconsistent quarterback play for Notre Dame and some solid defense on both sides. I like the under. But because both these teams have been absolutely hideous against the spread. Wake 0-3 against the number, Notre Dame 1-2 against the number, and then you have a line that is a key number at 7. So this is just a bad combination, man. This is like when you look in your handicapping games and you see a key number, teams that can't cover points, man, you know, it's like there's nothing good about this. So I like under 60. The line has moved up from 55.5 to 60. It's moved up 4.5 points on the total. I'm willing to go the other way. That'll be our second pick for today's show. Anyways, we do 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets over at sportschatexperts.com as well as sportschatplace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Anyways, let's see what else we got. course, it is Freestyle Friday. That means all the picks come from the crowd. And look at this one. We have another one. TCU versus Texas. Wow, Texas, they started the season on my live show on opening college football Saturday. I gave out Maryland, and you guys hammered me. You guys just crushed me. I was in Vegas, and I was like, Maryland, I like them, and with the points, and I think they got a really good chance to win this one outright. You guys were like, you're nuts. It's like Texas all day, and it's like, you guys crushed me, and it happens sometimes. You guys did the same thing to me last week when I took the Titans right against Houston. You did the same thing. You just absolutely hammered me, and that's for me. It's part of the fun of the show that it's like you guys are involved and I'm involved, and it's like we're doing all this, these things. And anyways, I just think that TCU is the better team. One thing that we've seen with TCU, and we saw it in the SMU game, we saw it in the Ohio State game, and we will see it in this game. This is a team that really can shoot themselves in the foot. But the thing is that they are the better team. They are the more talented. They're arguably more talented. But Gary Patterson really hates Texas. He really hates Texas, and the TCU alumni really hate Texas. And Patterson knows that no matter what happens over the course of the season, if he beats Texas, he's good. And Gary Patterson is, I believe he's like the 5th or 6th highest paid coach in college football, if you can believe that. I don't know if he still is. He might be in that 10, 11, 12 range now, but he's always been in that upper echelon of highest paid coaches. And I would say that, TCU gets the win here, and with the small number, they likely cover. We'll do a bonus pick here. I see a lot of people here, Stanford, Oregon. This is another one. I think this is a pretty tough game, personally. I think Oregon is kind of flying under the radar because they've been so bad the last couple of years. They're not bad, but just not Oregon standards that we were used to seeing under Chip Kelly. And, I think Stanford is a little overrated. I don't think this is a great Stanford team. I think this is a team that, they have a good line. They have a good running back, but I don't think that this team has what it takes to beat the really, really good teams. I think this is going to be a really good game. I think that Mario Cristobal, the coach of Oregon, he's done. See, here, I like coaches that have won with less. We saw it when Jerry Kill took over at Minnesota. What a coach, and we've seen it a million times, but we saw like when Jerry Kill took over at Minnesota. We saw it when, oh boy, what's his name? The guy who was the coach at Oregon is now Willie Taggart. We saw Willie Taggart when he won at Western Kentucky, and then he went to South Florida, what he was able to do there, and why he got the Oregon job and why he's gotten the Florida State job. Because here's a guy that's won with less. And Cristobal took over an FIU program that was like 0-11 and 0-12 and turned them into a bowl team and put guys in the NFL like T.Y. Hilton. So he obviously has an eye for talent. I know he's just a year in, his first year as the head coach at Oregon, but he has head coaching experience. Of course, he also was an assistant under Nick Saban in the interim. So I'm going to take Oregon here, and the points. I think they probably outright beat Stanford though. And that'll be my last pick for today's show. I see a lot of people asking questions and stuff like that over on YouTube. All of the questions come from the Facebook group. I've made it crystal clear. You could join our Facebook group. I posted the link in the comments here for the Facebook group. So come on over. The discussion doesn't end here. It keeps going. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning around this same time, probably a little bit earlier, with 3 free picks for College Football Saturday. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.